They tell you we live in a beautiful, benevolent creation, warm light, a kind God, paradise lost by a small misstep. But what if that whole story is a lie? What if your world is not divine, but a prison, and your creator is not the merciful Father you've been taught to worship? Everything you think you know about your origin, the world you live in, and your place in the cosmic order is turned inside out. This is the dark truth they don't want you to hear. You're not in Eden because God made you perfect. You're there because there was an existence before your existence, a luminous realm where you and all things were once alive, divine in nature. Then you were dragged down. The world you occupy now was fashioned not by the supreme God who dwells in the heights, but by a lesser God, a jealous craftsman named Sakla, or the Maker. The text states, "We resembled the great eternal angels, for we were higher than the God who created us and the powers with him." The apocalypse of Adam, here the creator of your physical body, is inferior. He is the jailer, not the liberator. When you hear material world created by a lesser God, you might think it's metaphor, but in the Gnostic vision, it's literal. That world you live in is a realm of limitation, fear, fragmentation. Adam and Eve were originally in the presence of the eternal God, breathing the divine life. That life was stripped away by the Maker. They were thrust into dust. Their glory was taken. The divine spark within them was bound in flesh and fear. The terrain of human history is not a journey from innocence to sin, it's a plunging into captivity. This narration smashes through the cheerful notion of God made everything good and replaces it with something far more chilling: your world is a cosmic mistake. The Maker boasted, enslaved, hid the truth, and demanded devotion. He said, "I am God," because the real God is beyond his reach. You walk under his reign, shaped by his limitations. You are in the game of fear and obedience. Salvation is not about being forgiven by the Maker. Salvation, in this text, means escaping his realm. Imagine the horror: your soul once knew freedom. Your origin was divine. Your destiny was to ascend. Instead you became clade under Sakla's rule. You became one of his captives. The text bluntly declares, "We were divided in wrath." When your divine breath was taken, you were cut off. Participation in the divine realm ended. You served the Maker in ignorance, thinking you worshipped the highest. But you served a copy, a competition, a tyrant. You were instructed to obey his laws, not so you could be free, but so you could remain confined. The Maker's laws aren't the laws of truth. They are the walls of the prison. Your body is the cell. Your desires the chains. The Gnostic rebel inside this text screams, "You belong to a heritage of light, not of dust." And the story doesn't stop at creation. It frames human history as a march into darkness under the Maker's domain. The Maker doesn't just create physically, he imposes identity. You are his creation. Your suffering is his system. Your sense of unworthiness, your shame, your search for meaning, they all stem from being trapped in his cosmic realm. The text declares boldly that the Maker's creation is not good but a fallen domain. Your world is the consequence, not the happy garden. If you believe you're a sinner in need of redemption by the Maker, this text rips that belief out from underneath you. It says, the one who presides over your world is not the true God, he is the false architect. And you were never meant to stay here. Your essence was stolen, your freedom revoked. But there is knowledge, gnosis, that awakens the prisoner. That knowledge reveals the true God above the heavens, the realm of light you were exiled from. And it points to a path of awakening and escape. Within this chilling structure, you come to see your physical existence not as blessing but as burden. Not as divine by design, but as cruel by accident. They say that everything started when the true God lovingly formed Adam and Eve in his perfect likeness, placed them in a garden of endless light, and gave them dominion. That narrative is tossed aside by the ferocious countertale found in the apocalypse of Adam. Because in this version, your origin is not simply rooted in innocence, it's rooted in divine greatness before you were betrayed. Yes, betrayed. Adam reveals to his son Seth this electrifying truth: we were in the presence of the great invisible one, we resembled the angels of the eternal. You weren't born into dust. You were born into glory. Then you were dragged into the mud. This isn't just a fall, it's a kidnapping of the highest order. The maker of your world, Sakla, is exposed not as a benevolent father but as a jealous, flimsy artisan who couldn't reach the heights of the true God. He created you after you already existed in light. He built you out of dust only to hide the fact that you once knew the eternal realms. There's no gentle creation here. The text screams that the Maker split Adam and Eve, introduced separation where there was unity, clipped their wings. The divine breath that had coursed through them was taken. Their hearts were stripped of splendor. Their knowledge vanished. They became slaves, enslaved not just spiritually but metaphysically. They serve the Maker in terror, obeying laws that chain them to dust, thinking they are worshipping God when they're worshipping an imposter. This is the raw, savage narrative. You were never legitimately under the true God's rule. You were handed over to a counterfeit. And therein lies the boldest twist. You were once higher than the Maker. That's right. The text claims you resembled the great eternal angels, for we were higher than the God who created us. You outranked your own Creator. The Creator created you because He knew something you did. He knew you had the spark, the memory of a greater realm. So He made the world to trap you, to siphon you away from your origin. That's not just theology, it's a cosmic heist. A theft of power, glory, and identity. Think about the implications. You walked through life under the impression you were created in innocence. You were free to choose. You were redeemed by a sacrifice. But what if none of that matters in this story? You never had full freedom in the first place. You were born into the prison, but you forgot that the bars exist. You listened to the warden's voice and accepted his rules as liberation. But the rules were the shackles, the voice was the captor. You were commanded to fear. You were commanded to work. You were commanded to pretend the world was fine. The voice of the Maker says, I am God. But the text says this is a lie. The Maker is a mimic of God. He is jealous because the real God exists above him. He fights a battle he cannot win, and so he rules by fear. He brands you, he binds you, he tells you you must obey. And you obey because they taught you that's what obedience is. What they never told you is you're serving the wrong boss. In the original scene, you were light. You were free. You were part of the ineffable. Then you plunged. The Maker divided you. The Maker separated you. He divorced you from that source of breath and placed you into flesh. Flesh became your identity. Flesh became your cage. Now you trust the Maker's claims that your suffering is deserved, your ignorance is normal, your hunger for truth is shameful. This text turns that right on its head. The suffering is unnatural, the ignorance is imposed, the hunger is the true you speaking. And notice, this is not cosmic background noise. This is the central storyline. Adam isn't telling a cute moral fable, he's unveiling an assault on humanity's original design. He is naming the Maker by name, Sakla, the one who claims the throne. He switches your view. You are not simply lost, you are stolen. You are not simply fallen, you are taken. Your origin is not on earth, your origin is among the gods. Your destination is not to fit into the world, your destination is to escape it. For the world you see, the dirt beneath your feet, the body you wear, the laws you obey, they're a script written by the Maker. They are not the divine order of the great invisible one. They are the rules of the jail. Your senses catch shadows. Your body feels pain. Your heart longs for something you cannot name. That longing is the echo of the world you left behind. The text doesn't just offer a new myth, it pulls the rug out from under the old one. It refuses the standard narrative of the loving Creator and good world. It calls the Creator a competitor, the world a slip-down, humanity a spark in exile. This kind of cosmic betrayal is designed not for comfort but for awakening. You're living in the script of the Maker, the manifesto of dust. But the spark inside you knows better. It remembers where you came from. It catches a glimpse of wings. It hears the whisper of freedom. And the text gives you the words to name that betrayal. The Maker is not your ultimate. The Maker is a divider. The Maker is the false architect. Your allegiance was misdirected. Your worship was misplaced. Your origin story was rewritten without your consent. The hidden tradition of the apocalypse of Adam doesn't just hint at secret knowledge, it delivers a full-blown manifesto of division and elite inheritance. It says, you are not simply part of humanity's general plight, you are either in the race of Seth or you are lost in the dominion of Sarkla. In the text, Adam speaks to his son Seth and reveals that he and Eve once possessed something no one else did, the first knowledge of the eternal God. That knowledge was not universal, it was selective. They went about, in a glory which she saw in the eon from which we had come forth. They were in the realm of light. Then the divine spirit fled them, and they learned about dead things, like men. You are either part of the seed of Seth, a lineage of those who carry this hidden knowledge, or you are simply one of the masses swallowed by the reign of the creator God of the material world. The text frames the human situation as a split. Not good vs evil in the usual sense, but chosen vs ordinary, enlightened vs ignorant. The seed of Seth stands apart. The powers that be fear it. The world of the craftsman God works to destroy it. The text says that seed of the great generation comes from Seth. It doesn't mince words, that hidden knowledge changed everything. When the spirit of knowledge left Adam and Eve, they became subject to fear, slavery, darkness. They served the Creator who made them, but they lost their original position. We served Him in fear and slavery, we became darkened in our hearts. This isn't simply about ignorance, it's about being spoiled of a heritage and reduced to servitude. The text contends that humanity's baseline condition is not neutral, it is compromised. And the divider is knowledge, not mere belief, but a word of knowledge of the eternal God that Eve taught Adam. That word sets apart. It creates a lineage. The text explicitly establishes a binary, those from the seed of the men to whom passed the life of the knowledge which came from me and Eve, for they were strangers to him. The him here is the creator of the material world. That they are the enlightened few. Everyone else? They are in his realm, strangers to the truth. Now look at the framing, a single father in the story, Adam, passes on to his son Seth not only a history, but a mission. The mission is hidden. It is reserved. It is esoteric. The text gives us a map of who belongs and who doesn't. And it destabilizes the idea that everyone equally inherits divine status. Instead, some do because they carry the knowledge, others are simply created and controlled. This is not comfortable theology. It is provocative. It demands intensity. It forces a reconsideration of the idea that salvation, identity, and inheritance are universal. According to this narrative, if you are not aware of your heritage, you might not even know you're in the wrong camp. The majority abide under the Creator God's rule unaware. The minority are the heirs of light. There's also an implicit critique of establishment religion embedded. If the mainstream says all are equal before God, this text says not in this case. The race of Seth concept undermines the standard everybody's welcome narrative. It replaces it with there is a hidden people, a hidden lineage. It hints that many are simply caught in a system without real access to what matters. The value isn't in ritual or belief alone, it's in knowledge and in membership of that seed. And yes, this knowledge is exclusive. The text says the true God revealed to them something, but the Creator they served lacked it. It frames the Creator as ignorant of what those of the seed knew. The knowledge left them, they served him in fear, and thus the condition of many is not tragic through choice, but through confinement. The truth is withheld. The light is gone. But the promise of return lies with the seed. So here's the deal, the inherited knowledge functions as portal. It separates the human crowd from the enlightened few. It creates a hierarchy, not of race in a modern sense, but of spiritual lineage and reception. The Creator God may rule the present, but the true light belongs to those who awaken to their origin in Seth's seed. The text doesn't tiptoe around apocalypse, it drops a bombshell. The domain of the Creator God will be erased, the illusions will be shattered, the ignorant masses exposed, and the true line of the awakened will rise. In this narrative, the end time is not simply a judgment day, it is the destruction of a usurper's regime and the liberation of the spark of light imprisoned in humanity. Adam tells Seth of a coming Illuminator, a figure appointed by the ineffable realm beyond the world of dust. This is no gentle savior, he comes with fire and revelation, splitting horizons. He pierces the veil. He wakes the sleepers. The prophecy lays out a set of actors. The creator God, the inferior God, will quake. The rebellious forces will unravel. The hidden lineage will rally. Those who cling to the craftsman's laws will tremble. Adam says, a time will come when the great Lord will hand over the world to the one who stands apart, and the blood of those who hold the hidden word will be manifest. It's high stakes. Not simply eternity in paradise versus hell, but cosmic regime change. The ignoble God will lose his claim. And the imagery is violent, ritualistic, and urgent. Adam says he saw three men, shining, descending. They reveal the end of the Maker's dominion, the flashing of the sky, the splitting of the realms. The masses will be deceived to the end. They will wander in darkness, while the light ones move through hidden doors. The narrative, only those with the knowledge survive the upheaval. The rest are washed away. Notice how this flips the standard eschatology. The mainstream story says, God wills it, world ends, you're judged. Here, the false God is what ends, his world collapses. Humans tied to his realm either awaken or perish. It's not moral righteousness alone that saves you, it's awareness. It's the knowledge you carry. The apocalypse isn't just destruction, it's revelation. The boundaries between light and darkness are shredded. The text even names the downfall of the old order. Those who made you fear will become the fearful, says Adam. The world of shadows governed by craftsmen and powers will pass. The one who issued commands, built walls, forged laws, will see his systems collapse. Humanity will no longer bow to bricks and dust. The hidden realm will unveil itself. The light bearers will walk out of the underworld of the Creator God's making. And as the prophecy intensifies, the distinction between the awakened and the sleeper becomes existential. Those who hear these words and receive the breath of the Great One will go out of the habitation of the God who made them, but the habitation of the God who made them will quiver at their coming. That's raw, highly selected, dramatically opposed. The world you know will quake if you awaken. The apocalypse is not optional, it is the fault line. Adam's vision speaks of the restoration of what was lost, the lost realm of light, the removal of ignorance, the unveiling of secrets hidden by the craftsman God. He speaks of the light returning to those who have waited. The era of the craftsman is over, the era of the awakened begins. The prophet of the text delivers not a message of mercy for all, but a revelation for the few who can stand when everything falls. The stakes, your identity, your origin, your destiny. The apocalypse will force you to choose whether you are of the hidden seed or part of the multitude still enslaved by the power structures built by the Maker God. The coming event is not for convenience. It's for rupture. It overturns the cosmos we thought we understood. The text also actively challenges the rituals, the laws, the claims of the entire system built by the lesser God. It says, you were given garments of dust, your breath was withheld, your sight was dimmed, the light withdrew. But when the Illuminator comes, you will reclaim your sight, your staff, your journey home. While the masses fight over crumbs of power in the dusty realm, the awakened ascend on wings of truth. The fact that this scripture surfaced only in 1945 among the Nag Hammadi library's trove, buried for centuries and dismissed by official lines, is a red flag. It signals that an entire alternate lineage of spiritual teaching was cut out of the dominant narrative. The book says, the prevailing authorities did not simply misinterpret, you were kept in the dark intentionally. In the world of this text, the official Creator God and his legal ritual regime are exposed as a controlled system. The Church preaches universal themes of redemption, but here the redemption is not open to all equally, there is a hidden people. The book argues that the religious institution you're used to is built on a manufactured ignorance, built by the craftsman God and enforced by the ritual law complex. If you follow the mainstream without question, you're part of the mechanism. The text doesn't soften it. We served him in fear and slavery. We became darkened in our hearts. That's the indictment. You're in systems that breed fear and obedience, not knowledge and power. Here's the punch. The institutional faith claims to mediate all that is sacred, and yet this Gnostic account claims there was a fuller truth withheld, behind the veil of sacrament and dogma. If you look closely, the leadership structure of religion, priests, rituals, canonical texts, takes over the role of the Maker God's rule in the world of dust. This text makes you question who gave them that power. On whose behalf are they standing? Are they releasing you into light or keeping you in the cave of shadows? The apocalypse of Adam doesn't ask politely, it confronts. The church is part of the machine. It's provocative. In the text, the canonization process wasn't just about defining what counted, it was about erasing what could count. The version of the myth the church endorses is not the only version. Indeed, the text insists it veiled the real narrative. That means the institutional religion you trust may be steering the minority to the minority of knowledge while claiming to serve the majority. That's not spiritual leadership. That's power play. And this book draws the line in the sand. The mechanism, the powers who control doctrine also control darkness. The text warns that the rituals, the cries of redemption, the structured theology, these can be traps. They give the impression of freedom while anchoring you deeper into the craftsman God's domain. Following the right does not equal awakening. Worshipping in structure does not guarantee revelation. This flips orthodoxy on its head and does so without metaphor. It names the system, you obey, you serve, you fear. And now you're told the system itself is part of the problem. One of the most daring charges, the true divine citizenship is not available through institutionally approved channels. According to this text, you don't get in by baptism plus obedience plus creed, you enter through knowledge, lineage, revelation. The church says believe and be saved. This text says, know and ascend. That difference is seismic. And the institutional faith knows it. It suppresses such texts for reason. Because if you start believing you are eligible for a direct connection to the light, bypassing the intermediaries, then the hierarchies crumble. Another radical twist, the text claims that the architect of the institutional world is not just incompetent or bungling, he is malevolent. The laws he gave, the power structures he maintained, the rituals of obedience, they were all built to mislead. If your faith structure rests on those things, then your faith structure rests on deceit. No soft language, no polite disagreement, this is outright subversion. The book says you're in the wrong kingdom if you follow the wrong voice. It's a call out. It's a warning. Within this framework, the church's claim to speak for all becomes questionable. The text implies that saying all are included is a diversion. The ancient manuscript doesn't say everyone can access the light through the church, it says only those awakened to the true knowledge will move beyond him. If you remain in the mainstream system, you might remain captive, not liberated. That's the confrontation. From the moment you stepped onto the stage of this text, the scene was set. You're either in the seed of Seth or you're living under the regime of the Maker God. Now we get to the raw, unfiltered mechanics of how that division plays out, how identity is stamped, how destiny is allocated, and the text pulls no punches. The narrative says this: your name, your heritage, your lineage matter. Not just biologically, but cosmically. When Adam hands Seth the revelation, he isn't just handing him words, he's handing him a title, a place. Seth becomes the bearer of an elect seed. This is not metaphorical fluff, it's structural. The seed of Seth carries the life of knowledge, the link back to that primordial glory you once had. Everyone else? They're in the craftsman God's domain, subject to his laws, his dust, his ignorance. The text reveals the way power moves in that world, via identification. If you know you're part of the seed, you gain one thing: access. Access to an incorruptible realm, to the water of life, to the revelation that the Maker God fears. The text says, those who have gnosis are the seed of Seth. Their name equals their identity. Their identity equals salvation. That's huge. It's not about beliefs. It's about lineage through knowledge. But the narrative also paints the opposite. If you're not awakened to your seed identity, you're simply part of the system. You obey the Maker God. You labor under the laws of flesh. You're in the kingdom of shadows. The identity you assume, human, child of God, redeemable sinner, in this text is downgraded. You might be all that in the dominant teaching. Here you're a prisoner till you awaken to the seed you really are. The text frames this in transactional and spatial terms. You belong to one realm or another. One is darkness, one is light. Your identity isn't just who you are, it determines where you will be. The seed of Seth are destined for the eternal realms of the true God. The rest? They remain unnoticed in the domain of the craftsman God. Identity isn't optional. It's existential. You are hearing this and you feel that tension. Am I part of the seed? Or am I not? The text makes you ask hard questions. Where did I come from? Who told me who I am? Whose voice shaped my identity? Was it the Maker God, or was it the true God's hidden whisper? The text gives you that sharp split. You are either awakened or asleep. You are either seed line or dust stock. And it doesn't stop at identity. It drives toward destiny. That seed of Seth have a future orchestrated by this knowledge. The text says they will go out of the habitation of the God who made them, but the habitation of the God who made them will quiver at their coming. They are the circuit breakers of the system. The destiny isn't neutral. It's activated. It's explosive. And your identity puts you in or out of that activation. If you find yourself feeling a chill reading this, that's intentional. The text is built to disturb, to wake, to separate the dormant from the alive. Because once you accept your identity as part of the seed, your world changes. Your alliances change. The narrative you believe changes. You're not just living, you're becoming part of a hidden axis of power. You're not just a believer, you're a knower. And that knowledge rewires destiny. We see the structure, identity, revelation, participation. As seed, you receive revelation, you participate in the overthrow of the Maker God's realm, you ascend, not metaphorically, into the eternal. The text flips the usual story that says, we'll all get saved eventually. Here it says, only those who know their identity, only those who inherit the seed, only those who bear the name, only they will rise. Put differently, you're either born again into the seed, or you stay under the rib of the Maker God. The text draws its battle lines clearly. No soft edges. No ambiguous middle ground. Knowledge is the badge. Identity is the banner. Destiny is the end point. And for you watching this, yes, the tension lies in your recognition. Do you grasp the heritage you inherited? Do you see the power structures that claim you? Do you sense your identity as deeper than what you were told? The text forces that reckoning. It doesn't speak of generalized light or salvation in vague terms. It speaks of you, your identity, your place in the hidden seed, your destiny beyond builder gods and dust. Now I want you to feel that moment of seeing the script flipped. The hidden script was always, the Maker God makes you, tells you you're His image, gives you rules, keeps you bound. The revelation inside this text, you were never merely His image. You were once part of something else. Your identity was stolen. Your destiny misassigned. The seed remains. And your role in the story depends on you hearing that call. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video all the way through. Because engaging with ideas like this means you're not just scrolling, you're listening, discerning, awakening. I appreciate you.